Hey, Chip, point your camera down.
Yeah.
We got the top of your head.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's a lady at work who she's an older lady, and on the Zooms we get on, she is always, it's like here, every single time, it's right here. I even said
What?
something to my my boss who's fairly high up, and she was just like,
What's that? Remember in the Sunday you get the comics? There was a character
oh yeah. And there was
with
a
a hat.
in the 70s, I never really got about there was some guy that always had his nose that looked over it was like the Keep On Trucking guy, and then there was this other, there was Kilroy that was part of the things too. So,
You mean the Styx album, Kilroy?
it
Was
was
here?
actually based off of that.
Oh no.
I read some article a long time ago. The Kilroy was actually based off of like an urban legend thing.
Well, there was a guy named Kilroy that was a weld inspector
Yeah,
at
exactly.
the shipyards during World War II.
Exactly it, and it would say Kilroy was here.
And that meant he had inspected it and it passed.
Exactly. He got sick of them forgetting, and yeah, that's right. Very good. I knew there was some story behind. Super.
Oh,
So for tonight's, we're doing we did our top villains, and we didn't have any perimeters, just our top villains, just to kind of see where that all fell. And what's funny is there weren't a lot of repeats on the three of our lists. I was really surprised. I thought we would have a lot more repeats. But what's funny is then as I was reading because I compiled this, so I'm the only one that's seen everybody's list. I was reading them, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good one. And there were a couple that and both of you had stuff on your list that I almost put on mine. So here, we'll just do, we're gonna do the top 5, and we'll start with number 5. And we had a tie. It was Darkseid and Pennywise. That was number 5. So that was
Anyway, yeah, I never even thought about him.
freaking me out, man. I have nightmares about Pennywise. Have you
Well,
seen
that's
the
because
new
you watched that movie. I wouldn't even watch the movie. I was like, no.
Like,
No.
oh, I can't walk past the sewer. And every time I see a balloon, I'm like, is there a creep? But clowns are creepy.
Mhm.
Let's be real.
and
Clowns are
that guy-
creepy.
That guy was awesome and he looked in that makeup. That whole movie. I really, the first one I really liked. The second one was okay, is how I thought of that.
Yeah.
But that was pretty good. Darkseid, of course, from Fourth World.
Jack Kirby.
Jack
I haven't
Kirby,
heard of that
iconic
one.
figure. You have seen it. You have seen him. He's actually what Thanos was based off of, correct?
Oh, okay.
That's correct.
The story is that Jim Starlin was gonna put a villain in an Iron Man comic, and he told Roy Thomas he was gonna rip off one of the new gods, and he said which one, and he said Metron, which is the guy in the chair.
Mhm.
And he goes, and Roy Thomas, this is the story. Roy Thomas said, no, don't do that. Do the best one. Do rip off Darkseid. And then that's how he came up with Thanos.
Well, Thanos is on my list, but on nobody's. It was.
He was so. that would be like putting Dracula on a vampire list. I mean, it's just too obvious. You wouldn't do it.
Well, we'll come back. No spoiler alert. We'll come back to that.
One thing I think is really cool about the way that you got us to do this is that we, like, Chip and I have no idea what's on each other's list.
Yeah.
So it was completely blind submittal. And so this is just as exciting for us anyway.
Well, and it is we're all over. Like I said, it's pretty all over the place. But and you guys may have the same thing happen. As I was seeing stuff, I was like, oh yeah, I could have put that. Oh yeah, because I mean we were so broad with this. So anyway, so that was number 5. Number 4 is also a tie. It's Freddy Krueger,
Okay.
and it's the Master from Doctor Who.
Oh, that's a good one. The Master. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I love Doctor
I was
Who.
surprised
I
you
did put
that was Chips,
Freddy
and then
Krueger.
Freddy Krueger.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one, Chip.
Yeah,
I
those
tried to just spread it around. Like I tried to do comics, TV series, movies, books,
Yeah, those are both pretty good. And then oh, I'm sorry, wait, actually number 4 there was a 3-way tie because the Joker was on there.
Oh,
That was mine.
That's a good
he's
one.
classic. Yeah.
So that was a 4. Yeah.
But I have to say,
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Freddy Krueger though. Like
Yeah, but-
in my childhood, when I first even just saw the commercial, didn't have to watch the movie. Scary, burnt guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I was doing a horror list, he would definitely be in the top
Gets you
10.
while you're sleeping. Gets you while you're sleeping. If you sleep, he will get you. Pull you through your bed. As a kid, like
Only if you're Johnny Depp.
you can't go to sleep. What?
Definitely kill Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp's the one he drug into the bed.
Yeah.
Well, that's because we're the dream warriors. Don't want to dream no more.
Dawkins.
That's right. Rhymes with rockin'. All right, number 3. There's a shocker. It was a tie. It's Hannibal Lecter
Okay.
and Roy Batty. Once again, that was both of yours. Hannibal Lecter was Sarah's, and Roy Batty was obviously Chip's.
And you can argue that Roy Batty's not really a villain, depending on how you want to look at things. But
I think most people would put both of those.
Well, explain who he is, because that's not because I don't even
Roy
know. Who that
Batty
is.
is Rutger Hauer's character in Blade Runner.
Oh, okay.
He's got the famous speech.
Mhm.
Yeah, at the end.
Do you know who I forgot to put on my list?
Who?
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Ugh. You already got Hannibal Lecter. That's enough. He doesn't need that. Author's made
It
enough
puts
money.
the lotion in the basket.
Yeah, that's all right.
Buffalo
That.
Bill. Buffalo Bill.
Uh-huh. That's the one. Ugh.
So number 2 is also a tie.
Shock.
It's Dracula,
Mhm.
and you specified Bela Lugosi,
Bela Lugosi.
which is the Drac in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And then, of course, Darth Vader, which was mine, which I'm shocked that neither of you had Darth Vader on your list.
I thought about him, but
I didn't realize we were doing a super obvious list.
yeah.
It's the top 10
I'm
villain.
just teasing. I'm just teasing.
But with
Yeah.
the new movies that came out and all that stuff, so some people aren't seeing him quite as the bad guy, but ultimately
Oh, no.
he's still meant to
He's
be a
the
villain.
bad guy. He killed.
I know.
Young. He's irredeemable.
This is a John Cusack conversation again. Yes, he is definitely the bad guy.
Yeah, I was coming at it from, I tried to spread it out a little bit, but I was really coming at it from who I was thinking of that had the biggest effect, effect, and who had the, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, but I was shocked. But Dracula is obviously a good one.
But it's definitely Bela Lugosi's Dracula. Like, there's different Draculas, and they're not quite as
Christopher Lee's Dracula is really
Great.
good, though.
Yeah.
You watch
But-
the Hammer films.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Gary
that.
Oldman was awesome. He was the best thing about the Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
Yeah, the way that was shot was cool too. That was the other film, and then the way that Dracula was shot.
And Underworld, they also did Dracula, and the guy who played it is one of my favorite British actors.
Yeah, he was.
He's really great.
Who was Dracula in Underworld?
Okay, he was also
I'll have to look it up. I'm trying to think what else. I've seen him in other stuff, and I can't think of
Was
what.
it in it wasn't in the first two?
he was in Love Actually as the rock star.
Billy Mummy? Or no, Billy
So on to number
number
one.
one.
And this was one of only 2 that matched out on the list.
No, I have no idea who it's gonna be.
Oh yeah, who would you if who would you and I, actually there are 2. Chip and I had 2 of the same characters. So
Were those the only ones that matched?
yes.
Let me guess. Let me guess. Number one is it's one of 2. I'm gonna go with Dr. Doom.
Exactly. That is.
Yeah.
And so that's number 1. Yeah, we both had it. I had him for number 2, and you had him for number 1. So he by far got how he did this was you got points. Number one got 10 points. Number two got 9 points all the way down. So he got 19 points. So he was the clear runner. So but
He's the only one that matched.
Yeah, and we've never had a good one in the movies yet. They all serious.
But the thing is like, and I think it's a great idea. They say if the guy Jack from The Office gets the part for Reed Richards, Rainn Wilson has to play. And I'm like, you know what? I'm all for that. I am 100% behind that. And the thing is he would be totally into it too.
Yeah, that will be. I felt like a vindication of my childhood when they finally did. When they did the first Iron Man and it was good. For like an actual comic book movie that I was like, this is actually. I mean, the Batman. I should say the Batman ones. They were great too. The Nolan ones, but yeah, and I would feel that same way. When and hopefully we ever see a good, MCU Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Now the Blade movies were good, and they were the original, the first Marvel movies. But
yeah,
Blade was in Vampire Tales, which was a black and white magazine. He wasn't in the original comic books. They were good movies. They were Marvel.
Didn't McFarlane do something? Is that one who brought it back, or was it actually the films themselves that then started that?
Wait, man, I'm sorry.
Well, I thought was there a McFarlane
Blade?
Yeah.
No, Blade was something they had been working on for a while, and it was based on the Marv Wolfman Blade character that was originally in Vampire Tales, and then later was in Dracula, Tomb of Dracula, the comic book.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited to see the new Blade movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Okay, I love Blade. Blade 2, I don't care for that much. Blade 3, I don't know why. It is a total piece of crap. And if you watch it, it's shot badly because him and the director, Wesley Snipes and the director, didn't talk to each other at all. The only time Wesley Snipes was on set is if you see his face and he's speaking. If it's not, it's his stand-in the entire movie.
Wow.
But and I just love I just think it's hilarious with Jessica Biel, Parker Posey, and Ryan Reynolds. I mean, I think they're they're really funny. I like anything with Parker Posey, and her playing the bad guy is pretty cool because she never plays the bad guy. So,
do you know what I should have put on my list that I didn't? Is the Danny DeVito Penguin.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, the Tim Burton Batmans.
I'm kidding. He was funny though. He was more funny than a villainy villain.
Well, I think he's going to be a much better Penguin than Colin. What's his name in the new one that's coming out?
The Penguin's going to be in the new one?
Yeah. And it's played by Colin Farrell.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, see.
How's that going to go?
See, so Chip has heard this. I have this thing about whenever you take someone that's fairly famous and put them in as an established comic book character, it's 99% of the time I think it's a bad idea. Because then you've got all that baggage of that actor and all the things they've done before, and then you kind of cookie cutter and try to shove them in.
Unless they're a true character actor and they can just
but most of those
chameleon themselves in.
Most of those character actors that are in the Marvel movies aren't playing main characters,
right?
And so whenever I see that, it makes me think they care less about sort of the aesthetics and the actual story and picking people as opposed to trying to put somebody with star power to sell tickets.
Speaking of,
I can see that, but to play devil's advocate, if you're an actor and you make a decision and you end up making some movies, okay, we're talking about Robert Pattinson, fine. So hey, he's in Harry Potter. He makes those Twilight movies. He's a kid. He's an actor trying to make a living, and they're like, hey, you're going to be in these movies and make a ton of money. But now you're like, well, you can't do anything else because you did those Twilight movies and we may or may
That's
not
so
like
true.
those.
Well,
I mean, you got to give the guy another chance. He was great in
Sure.
Tenet.
yeah, if I will, I'll go see that. But I mean,
What's that elephant water
I
movie?
hate Ben Affleck.
Water for Elephants.
You what?
Yeah,
Water for
Ben
Elephants was
Affleck is a perfect example of what you're talking about. He's too big and he's got too much stuff behind him to come in and do. But he was good. But he was playing like a Frank Miller Dark Knight Batman. He wasn't, you know.
And he does have some. He has some personal connection and some love to that storyline, but which he did to Daredevil, and he totally shit on my childhood. Which,
I was gonna say, but then there's Daredevil, which takes away any.
yeah. And Electro, which may even be at worst. But yeah, so anyway, let's go back to the list. The only other one that we had that were on 2 lists, and we both had it in the same place, was Baron Harkinon from Dune. So Chip and I both had that one, and we had it as our
I can't believe I didn't think of that one.
number 7.
And that's both a book and a movie, so it's a double. And then I looked at the spelling because I looked up the spelling to get it right, and the book's right. It's Harkinon. It's not Harkonnen. Like if you look, so they mispronounced it in the movie because if you look at the spelling, it's Harkinon.
The audio book says Harkinon.
Yeah.
So Sarah's list, her number, I guess that would be 1, 2.
Yeah, whatever's at the top.
Would be Annie. Is it Wilkes or Wilkes? The one from
Misery.
Misery.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
Great.
Like the depth to that. Like, yeah. And if it was played by somebody other than Kathy Bates, I probably wouldn't have loved it nearly as much.
That's crazy. I did not even think of one Stephen King person. And Randall Flagg, the Walking Man, should have been like my number 2. Because he's been played by so many people, and and he runs through all the books. He's even a gunslinger.
So your next one, I actually thought about this one and almost had it towards the end of Wicked Witch of the West. Iconic.
That's a good one.
That's an iconic one, no doubt. No doubt.
Next was Michael Corleone.
No.
I would have never put that just because of...
He was an anti-hero. He wasn't a villain.
I think he was kind of a villain.
He was redeemed in the last movie. He made the ultimate sacrifice. His daughter was killed.
Well, that's because it's the third one, which no one in their right, anyone who's seen it has tried to Men in Black that out of their mind.
But he's still a villain, even if he has a redemption moment.
I don't know. I'm just messing. That's fine.
And I'm not going to sell this. Oh, I said this wrong, but from 100 from
Cruella DeVille.
There you go. And
which one? Which Cruella DeVille?
Yeah,
the animated movie, the book, Glenn Close.
I haven't seen. Well, Glenn Close was pretty good, but I was thinking the original cartoon is the.
Yeah, that's what I.
Oh yeah, she's totally crazy in that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Touched me as like all of the ones that I put hit me when I was younger. Like I was thinking, what scares me the most? Because I watch murder shows now, murder documentaries, so I can watch stuff. And
you watch murder?
No, like the Southern Gothic is really good. We should add that to our list.
Yeah, I don't watch any of that stuff. Well, there's the new one with, I don't think it's out yet, but the new one with
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone, that's it.
Got it.
Yeah, she was a great Gwen Stacy.
So is that and I don't know, is that out or not? I keep seeing the ads for it. They're everywhere. The ads are everywhere.
I think it was in theater and it's in premiere access still.
Cruella?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On mine, we got I did say Thanos. That was my number 4. Number 5 was Khan
Oh,
Oh, good one. Yeah.
that's
From
a good one.
because being a Star Trek fan, that's from the original series and the best movie. One of my and it was in the mediocre to poor of the JJ Abrams.
yeah.
He was in that, so I almost did the Borg, only because of how important they are to Next Generation. But since and they are kind of a collective, so it is.
And that was the best, and that was the best Next Generation movie, had the Borg in it.
Exactly. So there you go. Then this one, childhood completely, General Zod, plus just how iconic that was.
Terrence Stamp's General.
Yeah, exactly. So that was that one. Then this one, I'm kind of proud of this one. HAL 900.
Oh, that's
I
a
thought
really
it was
good one.
9,000.
9,000. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it is 9,000. I just always think of it as HAL.
Yeah, HAL.
How?
Which
That's
is
awesome.
where IBM came
That's
from.
good.
Yeah.
So they added IBM. They came from that. They just went up one letter.
One letter.
You get IBM.
No, that's how they got HAL. They went one letter before.
Was it? It came first. I guess.
IBM was already around, and International Business Machines had been around for because they made electrical typewriters.
Dot matrix kind of.
Yeah. Oh no, like the old school typewriters and calculators. That's what they came out of.
I always thought it was the other way around. Okay.
No.
I stand corrected. Then next was the one we had, Baron Harkinon. Then I had at number 9, Galactus. I'm surprised that you didn't have that one.
He's not a villain.
He's not a
He's above all that. He's beyond that.
great.
Does man think
I
of
didn't
the
put
ant when he
Submariner.
steps on the hill? No.
Did you really just okay?
No, I didn't put that. I mean, so that
What did you say?
I said, did you really does the man think of the ant when he steps on the hill?
That's from the comic book. That's from the Fantastic Four comic book.
Then last and not least was Sideshow Bob.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Because
that is a true villain.
The Simpsons for so long, and so yeah. So anyway, so that was mine. That was a last minute entry. I had Goldfinger for a long time because that was such a big. Growing up, my dad still is a huge fan of James Bond, so that was always a big deal. We'd always watch James Bond movies, and that was always the villain to me that was the most ominous, I guess, for lack of a better word. So that was my list. Chip, you had. Let's go up to your list. Where is
He's got some good snacks. What you eating?
He's
cheddar Chex Mix.
Oh, that is good.
fart mix. You're eating fart mix.
Chex Mix.
So number 5 for you was Red Skull, which
Oh,
thought of that. That was a good one. I was like that.
that's a good one.
I thought that would be the two that we would match on. Would be
I could have one. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, duh." Yeah, I would have. If I did it now, I would have that. I would have that on there. Then, how do you say it from Conan?
Thulsa Doom. Thulsa Doom. Which in the comic, but in the books, in the books,
no, you want the new film with what the last film?
Oh God no, God no. No, that's James Earl Jones.
Yeah. Oh yeah, from the one with
on the Conan the Barbarian. But what's interesting is Thulsa Doom, in the books, is actually Cole the Conqueror's bad guy, not Conan. So if you read the old Robert E. Howard books,
I read them all.
They took that from Cole. But the other thing about the Conan movies is interesting is the original screenplay for that was written by Oliver Stone.
That's right.
And it was in the future, like so far in the future that they had gone back to the age, which is something that people have an argument that the Hyperion age, which is what he writes about in the books, is actually, way far in the future after everything's fallen apart.
So it's like Planet of the Apes.
Yes, exactly.
Next, I almost put this one on my list, but I kept going back and forth on is he really a villain? Loki?
Loki, but I specified the comic books.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, you did. And then last you had the hand/foot.
Yeah, the Hand, Daredevil, and also in the comic books, and they really did a really good job with the Hand in the Netflix Daredevil series.
Yeah, exactly.
And then / the Hand was the foot in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, those guys were huge fans of Daredevil. So the goop that blinded Daredevil went down into the sewer and turned the turtles into mutants. And then their original rat that trained them, his name is Splinter, and he was the rat owned by Stick, and he got loose and ended up in the swamp and got exposed to the same thing as them. So that's why he had all the knowledge of how to fight like a ninja, because he was Daredevil's mentor Stick's pet.
Really? Wow. Yeah. That's a good one. I almost did.
That's more of an organization than
exactly.
But hey, it was number 10.
Well,
we could have put Kevin Smith on the list, being all the hate he's currently getting for the new He-Man thing. I haven't watched it yet.
Me neither. But
and I'm not that invested in He-Man, so I really won't be upset no matter what he did.
Well, it does
kind of God. I don't know why everybody's mad, because every group that I'm in on Facebook has said we're not talking about this because you people get way too upset. So I haven't read anything other than everybody's mad at Kevin Smith.
I saw like a little bit online, but didn't really. So there.
I'll tell you who else is a villain. The people who wrote the final 2 episodes of Neon Genesis Evangelion, which I just finished watching, and that is the worst ending I have ever seen on anything.
Worse than Lost?
Lost. Well, I don't know. I never saw the end of Lost. I lost interest way before the end.
Chip's just got all the jokes.
But yeah, no, like I just
that was very punny, Chip.
Thank you. 26 episodes. 26 episodes. Okay, so I'm in there. We're talking about giant mech warriors that actually turn out to be flesh underneath armor. They're fighting these things called the Angels. It's really weird. All this crazy stuff. The last 2 episodes are just like they're messing with your mind. It's just like flashes of stuff going back and forth animated, and them like, you hate yourself, I hate myself, I love my mother, I hate my mother, why am I here, I don't know. Literally, I'm not joking, that was an hour, 2 episodes, an hour of that, and they're like, okay, it's over. I was like, what in the world did I just see?
So don't watch that. I thought about
hold on, there's like 4 movies, which I'm a sucker. I will totally watch them. I'll tell you after the movies, but right now I'm pretty angry about it.
But you're still gonna watch it.
I'm a sucker. I'll
Kevin Smith did one of the movies.
Well, they've got a movie called The End of Evangelion, so I think that they went and realized that they screwed up and actually made a real ending to the show.
Oh, right.
Maybe.
I've heard that's good.
If you're watching anything, and before you watch anything, go on YouTube and see if there's a 30-minute video explaining it. Odds are you might not want to watch it if that's the case. Because I'm gonna watch that, or I was gonna watch that, and then I found out there's other movies, so I gotta watch the movies, and then I'll go watch the explainer.
But I mean, on YouTube, you could find a 30-minute video on how to use a can opener.
Well, this is true. Well, on my YouTube viewing, if it's more than like 20 minutes, I'm usually out.
Yeah,
unless it's really interesting.
So that's why you're not watching any of our episodes.
No, like I said, unless it's really interesting, and our episodes are super interesting.
We are into it.
I will, if I'm looking how to do something on on YouTube, I go down there and I see which one's the shortest, and that's the one I pick.
Really? I do the one with the most views.
I don't, because
I do. That's how I pick it. Most votes. Because that one has to be good, because 500,000 people watched how to use a can opener. That must be the right way to use it.
5 million people can easily be wrong.
I'm assuming the exact opposite. If everyone went with that, it's probably wrong. Yes, that's what I'm doing too.
So I know I keep going back to the can opener thing, but you know how to use the can opener, right? It's sideways and around the top. So it cuts off the whole top, not jagged edge, creaky.
I just recently found this out. Blew my mind. Yeah, well, like
spinach.
that's amazing.
Yeah. Like Popeye with his spinach, he'd go and it rip all around the top, leaving all these sharp edges. No, you're just supposed to circle the top, and the whole top comes off all nice and nothing sharp. Nobody gets stabbed. You can set it back on there if you want and put it in the fridge. Bam.
Yep.
Well,
I just recently found that out, like in the last year.
It's insane. Why didn't anybody tell us this? Because nobody puts directions on a can opener because they assume that we're not idiots.
Yeah, I'm pretty much dumping whatever's in the can out, and then I'm throwing the can away. So, and the cans we use at work, the can opener we have has you do the top and then you spin it. So it basically does the same thing as a hand one like that. So there you go.
But like if you use the hot dog sauce, you don't always use all of it, and you might want a hot dog later.
You don't want to leave it
for a little bit out.
I'm ServSafe compliant, and they things rough.
Food safety.
Hot dog sauce.
I think he means chili.
No. Well, Castleberry's has it. It's chili, but it's not even called chili. It's called hot dog sauce. It's Castleberry's chili.
Meatless.
I don't even know if there's any real meat in it.
Like a potted meat is basically what it is. It's a potted meat.
Potted meat chili for your hot dog.
No beans.
It's a hot dog. What? Okay. So wait a minute. So now we're gonna.
No, I don't eat hot dogs. So you go ahead. You go ahead and put your hot dog sauce
on it sometimes.
I don't eat them very often.
On it.
Would it count as like a condiment? Hot dog sauce? Because I was imagining like the special sauce from like hamburgers.
That's who we left off the villain list, the Condiment King. Totally screwed that up.
Who's the condiment?
It's a real Batman villain called the Condiment King, and he squirts mustard and ketchup and stuff.
You're lying.
I am not making that up. I am not making that up. Look it up.
Hot dog sauce.
Once again, why Marvel is better than DC.
And he was in the last the Harlequin cartoon that was on DC Universe.
He's the same guy that tried to screw with everybody by calling beanless chili hot dog sauce.
When you put in condiment, it's the 4th entry on Google is Condiment King. It was created by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini for Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, so it's an animated, but still okay.
But still, he crossed over into the comics like they all.
You get mustard in your eye, that's gonna hurt because there's vinegar.
Is my
Now I'm not gonna be able to think of her name. She's the little redheaded girl, that redheaded woman.
And her last name
Jessica Chastain.
No.
Oh, she was in.
She did a dance with another guy. What? Why can't I think of his name?
No, Once Upon a Time and.
Once Upon a Time, and she was in